Investigang ist wieder back. Wir sind wieder am Start. Wir gucken uns heute wieder das neue Video von Sam und Colby an. Diesmal sind die in der Irrenanstalt. Ich würde sagen,
da gehören wir auch hin.
Wir fackeln gar nicht lang rum. Wir fangen direkt an, oder?
Yes.
Madison is its own type of location. The energy in there is so strong. It's just so like apparent.
This place is probably the most like psychologically effective place I've ever been though.
Is he nauseous?
Poltergeist activities. This is not a good spirit place.
It's possible that we are dealing with a demonic kind of entity.
I think it's you, Sam.
Something's attached to you. If you do have attachments to you guys, it's gonna be a
Der gleiche Typ.
Ja. Der war irgendwo mal dabei, wo war der?
Beim letzten Video.
Ach so.
Das war der Besitzer.
Nicht beim Greenhouse.
Im letzten Video, die waren bei...
Seminary.
Ja.
Seminary.
Ich hab vergessen, was das ist.
Danken.
Nein. Das war irgendwie sowas im Krankenhaus, ja.
Beim letzten Mal auf jeden Fall.
Ja.
Ja. Wieso haben die immer so recht gucken?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Das sah spannend aus, Leute.
No way, that's the light. Is that
The
it's
flashing
blinking?
light?
Dude, that's so freaky.
That's so ominous.
Is that what we're turning in?
I think so, because it's like in 200. Yes, dude, the Madison Seminary.
Of course.
Is there any more ominous sign than that?
I see a person in the window.
Shadow person.
Shadow person. We're gonna catch some ghosts tonight.
Deswegen singt er nicht.
Das Album würde ich kaufen.
Ja.
That wasn't.
You?
Let's cut that. Oh god.
Der Nate macht doch auch eigentlich schon Musik, oder?
Ich weiß gar nicht, was Nate
Ich habe das
macht.
Gefühl, da macht jeder Musik.
Ja.
Hast du Geld, machst du Musik.
Gott sei Dank Sam nicht.
Der hat ein Lied mit Katrina aufgenommen. Sam.
Weißt du, ein Video auch dabei war?
Autotune rettet Sam.
No.
Der ist auch der Besitzer davon anscheinend.
Just look what happens when
Stand gerade auch Owner.
What happens, mate?
Oh god! They're all staring at you.
Absolutely not, son.
Oh mein
No,
Gott.
you don't just walk in.
Alter.
This man
Alter. Was ist das bitte? Das ist ein Dämon.
Ich finde die gar nicht mal am gruseligsten.
Nein.
So, irgendwie schon.
Die sieht auch komisch aus. Ich finde die schwarzhaarigen schon sympathisch.
This was the only room of this entire place that we're investigating.
Die ist gruselig da hinten, die blasse.
Yeah.
It's kind of anticlimactic.
Ja, das Ding ist,
Right
das
here, man.
wird uns verfolgen.
Oh god, it is freezing in here.
Dude, it looks all set up. I wonder if Adam like set all this random stuff up here.
Yeah, I think it's
like this.
he decorated this.
Cult shit in here too.
What is that?
It's a triangle.
That looks like weird hopscotch.
Eine Dreieckgleiche.
Look, dude, you can see the sign from in here.
Oh, that's so freaky. My god. And he said he didn't set that up? Why would that happen the first night that we're here?
The poltergeists in this community know you guys.
Oh yeah,
I feel like things always happen, no matter what.
They're probably like, have you guys heard of Sam and Colby? Yeah, I'm unsubscribed to those lame
What if there's like an anti-Sam and Colby in the ghost community?
And they just leave comments on our videos.
Yeah, they're always hate.
Fake.
Yeah.
Hey, what the fuck?
Is that Adam?
Is that Adam?
Adam, spit us that history, bruh.
Kiss him, man. Give him a kiss.
Kiss him. You won't. What the fuck?
Kiss him, man. Guys, we're at a place called the Madison Seminary.
Not even gonna say what's up.
We're not saying what.
Did you hear
What was that?
There's no one in the
Yeah.
building and something just moved.
Wait, that was the front of the building?
No, that was downstairs.
Definitely over there.
What's up, guys? It's Sam and Colby.
Today we are here
Fans
what up? At this place called the Madison Seminary.
Yes. Not
Machen
semen.
wir jetzt eigentlich mit Stopp?
Whoa.
Where you guys haven't seen
Wenn du
it on
was
the
hast.
brain.
I still have a little
Stop.
tooth.
Nein, Spaß.
If you're like me, you have
Box
no
am besten dabei noch
idea
Zeta.
what a seminary is. Apparently, it is a college that prepares students to be
Ich wollte gerade sagen, Spätzle.
Nein, du musst den Box dann weiterleiten.
Nein.
It's got
Doch.
multiple layers of
Boxkette.
different history, which gives this really haunted vibe.
It is a place that is
Box is the
endowed,
most.
steeped
Ja,
in
Box.
This place was built in 1847.
Box
For
dich
50
nochmal.
years, it was that private school, and then it was turned into a widows and war veterans sort of like area.
It was a place where women and orphans who lost their husbands and fathers to the war came to live. So it was like an epicenter of grief.
It was actually prone to see people commit suicide here at this building, and ever since, you see the apparitions.
And then
An asylum kept a bunch of mentally ill people here, and everyone who worked here was a prison inmate.
it was known as the Nut House, and people refer to the people here as nuts.
Kind of similar to the Fairfield Infirmary. They
Yeah,
would
just
keep
for
these
this,
patients and people up in the attic. During the harsh
Genau.
conditions of the
Mit der
summer
Kette.
and winter, patients would just suffer a lot of dehydration and they would go crazy due to just being locked up in comfortable situations.
Because we're in Ohio, so it gets extremely cold and extremely hot, and they didn't have heating and cooling up here.
You can literally see our breath in there. Then it turned into a police office, and then Adam bought it.
It starts religious, and then extreme trauma,
Yes.
and then insanity. That seems like the perfect recipe for a haunted place.
And then
because it's
police
like-
come in. It's like, what?
Yeah, like almost like this violent, imposed order.
But they couldn't even stay there for long. So basically, right after the police moved in, the people started not wanting to even come to the headquarters because they're like, oh god, this is literally like a ghost portal.
They were starting to hear stuff themselves.
They were only here for a couple years and they put it on the market. And when they put it on the market, they said, caution, building may be haunted. The police were that scared that they had to put a
Das hat den Kaufpreis gedrückt, ja?
Imagine the
Wird
real
trotzdem
estate
kaufen.
trying to sell this place.
Weil solche wirst du sowas niemals lesen.
Ich glaube, sogar in Amerika hat es das teurer gemacht.
Ja.
So guys, this building is actually
Weil dann kommen die ganzen-
huge.
Ja, die machen es richtig. Die machen das
It
wirklich so.
actually has 88 rooms in it, and the
In Deutschland wird
Ja, die glauben ja auch daran.
Nein, sowas passiert schon.
Es gibt so etwas nicht.
Legend has it that there
Schon einmal seine Steuern
Nie
zahlen.
gegeben.
It's frequent for people who experience shadow visitations. They will get disoriented, dizzy, nauseous.
Direkt
Like,
an Steuern gedacht.
People getting like choked.
Poltergeist activities, things moving around, getting pushed. This is not a good spirit place.
And they don't like men.
Apparently, the worst of all the paranormal manifestations have happened in the last 5 years.
My name's Evan Kimmel. I'm the owner of the Madison Seminary out here in Madison, Ohio.
I'm Steve Brock. I own Haunted Nights, which is a paranormal event company. I'm Dylan Stevens. I work with Steve with Haunted Nights. Madison, I wish
Sich das erste Mal richtig vorgestellt.
type of location. It's just the energy in there is so strong. It's just so like apparent. I've slept in Fairfield a bunch of times. I've never slept in this building. I don't think I could. You see stuff on the grounds all the time, like walking around outside. Like you can't get away from it here. Stuff happens in this building. Like it's all over the place.
Why is this place haunted? Why are people experiencing things? Why does it keep getting creepier and creepier? Things are staying, I think. We've had over 10,000 people come through in the last 4 years. All those different teams, like yourselves. You came from another location prior. Like we just came from Fairfield, right? So we still have that kind of stained on us. So we're leaving our energy in places.
Right.
Right? And this gets into the theory of attachments. And what's unique in this case is you guys have been to a lot of places that normal people in this field don't get to go to, right? Dracula's Castle, Chernobyl, Winchester Mystery House. What if things attach to these investigators and then they fall into another location, they're like, I like the way this place feels. That's exactly what we're trying to figure out right now. Because things that may be attached to you guys are gonna like come here and maybe they'll stay. And it's like, that's why I think the haunting elevates. How do spirits know to move from place to place? Like I always thought it was like a video game. Like you had an attachment, you went somewhere else, you unlocked a checkpoint. They know how to get there. It's like a portal. It's like a portal in a sense, right? So they know the more you keep moving with an attachment, it knows how to get somewhere. I call it taxi cab theory. They jump onto you, then they leave. Then they jump onto you, they go somewhere else. But it lets them go everywhere they need to go.
And if they want to
That's
go
a theory,
they
so-
tell you through the Estes method
Yeah.
and Sam's chain in the attic.
It almost reminds me of what an egregore is. Like just people bring their own energy into a haunted spot and then it therefore becomes haunted. Yes, and I think that's a lot of what we experience. The energies you guys are going to bring, if you do have attachments to you guys, it's going to be a wild ride.
When you feel this energy, do you tend to feel something negative or more positive?
I don't even like right now as we're talking about this. Like, I feel really like numbish. You get this like sixth sense, you just know like something feels off. Before I bought Madison, people were ghost hunting out here. After I got it, we amplified it. This place is turnkey, constantly with teams coming in.
Wait, question for you, Doc. How
would you say you've created the environment?
Rearranging energy. All right, this doesn't sound weird. You know, like when you're in a funk and you're in your house and you just feel like you're down and everything, but your house is a mess and everything. If you were to clean your house, like wash the dishes, fold your clothes, and everything, all of a sudden the space feels really good. Like
it had a bad feng shui.
Bad feng shui, right? Yeah. When I got this place, it felt like straight depression. Like it was just bad, so we cleaned everything up.
So you're trying to make a place that is inviting for spirits. Correct me if I'm like wrong here. You're not trying to make a negative place, are you?
When you say like negative spots, like I don't try to glorify what, like up in the asylum when those women were up there and stuff.
Sure.
You know, I keep the doors open. I always tell those ladies, you can walk around, you can do whatever you want, right? This is still your home. I'm recreating it to show that it still is their home. So when you're recreating the rooms and stuff like that, that's why I'm doing that. You know.
Well, it's actually really interesting to get your side of it because when we were researching the seminary, we came across an account that you are the reason the place is haunted. So I guess one of the infamous ghost hunters, Mustafa Gadalari, believes that Adam is the reason that this place is haunted, but not just because he's been known to twist the history, but because he may have tried to trap a demon in the walls. Mustafa's saying this, we're gonna get down to the point of it.
There are these occult sigils painted all over the seminary. Apparently these occult sigils were not some sense of protection, not some spell that was supposed to make these spirits at ease. It was actually to conjure up and trap a demon inside these walls. Again, we all done.
Hat die eine Puppe, die
das hab ich mir auch gerade gedacht.
Which is like the Book of the Dead, so that's like witchcraft.
Which is why, again, like we're saying, there's a lot of history, but it's all gotten worse since Adam's here.
We're gonna get down to it.
And let it be said, Adam's dope.
Let's go figure out
Ist er ein Kultist?
what is going on here.
Das könnte natürlich auch sein, dass
kann
er
auch
so...
das wird vieles erklären.
Ne?
You know Ghost Hunters Mustafa?
Oh God, yeah.
Do you want to talk about that really quick?
Yeah,
So-
he's a piece of shit.
Mustafa thinks you are the reason the place is haunted. And he thinks that you're what's keeping the spirits here. And you have created an occult environment to try to trap energy here.
I am very familiar with what he said. We did spar a lot, and that's fine. Everyone can have their own opinions, but I disagree. The thing was, this place was haunted prior. There were a lot of teams coming here and doing stuff.
Sure.
So when I came here, it wasn't a self-manifestation, saying that I was manifesting the haunting.
Yeah, and we were just so curious about it because it's such an intriguing conflict.
It was such a huge, bold things to say, because I've never heard this anywhere else.
Well, and with so much like confidence to say something that, like you said, is an opinion. Everything in the paranormal is an opinion. There's nothing proven. Where are you coming up with something that is this is a fact? He is keeping people here.
Well, I
in
guess
pockets.
a good question would be: have you ever done anything besides, rearranging everything to conjure, for lack of a better word, something to come and be more welcome here?
When it comes to it sounds like a cult kind of stuff and summoning, I don't really participate. I don't say anyone can't do it. I've never sat
Sind
down.
Hussern in einen gerissen?
Or anything like that.
Ja! Oh mein Gott!
He also, again, to go off of how it's a really unfound claim.
Nein.
One of the things they refer to as a single or a
Warte, das sieht man bestimmt gleich noch aus.
Okay.
is a shuffleboard. You know what I mean? That's
Ist
where
ja witzig.
that is
Lüftung.
no, it's not.
Yeah, it was from a Necronomicon, and so we were like, it's literally.
Well, and that's why we really want to talk about this and shed light on this situation because people don't understand that.
If we were trapping spirits, and there are locations I won't say, we don't want to cause any
Jetzt guck ich da die ganze Zeit.
putting sea salt on the
Warum hab ich die
windows.
ganze Zeit wieder Eier gestarrt?
Almost like modern-day slavery, thinking that if my spirits aren't here,
gucken.
no one's gonna come, right? So anyone who knows it, anyone. I have never told a spirit you have to stop. You can leave at any time. Are we qualified?
Zurück auf den Jogger.
Are we qualified?
Kann auch
What
was.
makes you think you have the power to tell
Exactly.
Right.
How would you be able to
There's no way.
There's no way.
And you're the first in 2016 to open this place for paranormal investigations, right?
Yeah, publicly. Before they were doing it a little bit, but this is a whole new level.
So then what's to say that it isn't retracting a little bit an egregore, and it was just other people's energy that brought this spirit in here.
But at the end of the day, you would welcome more and more spirits. The more
100%. That just makes this whole field interesting. Honestly, my biggest thing is just be kind in the asylum. Those women did suffer a lot. And there is a dark energy, there is, but I think the majority of the time it's a lot of misfire.
Also ich finde das jetzt nicht gut, wenn er jetzt ganz viele andere Geister dahin einlädt. Das wäre doch...
Warum?
Keine Ahnung.
Ich glaube nicht, dass er das irgendwie wahllos macht.
Ja, aber der will sie ja irgendwie auch daran binden. Das ist doch komisch.
Ja, weil er will, dass es auf Dauer ein aktiver Spot bleibt, einfach, damit er nicht in Vergessenheit gerät, dass der aktiv bleibt.
Ja, aber ob das so...
Oder er will nur daraus Geld schlagen. So finde ich es dann wiederum scheiße.
Ich denke, es ist gut gemeint, aber es ist trotzdem keine gute Idee.
Ja, also das kann das fast zum Überlaufen bringen.
Ja. Aber wir haben dann was zu gucken.
Geil.
Also.
Ja.
Der Haunted Doll.
Ja.
Ich gehe.
Mach's gut.
Specific haunted doll known as Ohio's most haunted doll ever, and his name is Maddie.
Oh, like the Maddie?
Like
Who's
the Maddie.
not the Maddie? Who's the Maddie? But a Maddie.
For the old viewers out there that have seen the Shanley Hotel episode,
Seine
you guys know that
Geisterfreunde.
I had a relationship with a ghost named Maddie. She was a prostitute.
Are you even flirting with ghosts, bro?
Yeah. So he picks up even the undead.
I've been missing her ever since.
You better be wearing protection, son.
Either this Maddie will be flattered that you also like other Maddies, or she'll be jealous and hate you.
We're gonna have to go see if this doll is really haunted, but the scariest part about this is when
Whoa! Das hab ich gespürt!
Kannst du dann schlafen?
Ich hätte noch einfach nicht reagieren können.
Das ist doch meine.
That doll right there is considered to be Ohio's most haunted.
Wait, which
Einfach
one?
ein Like für den
Is it
That is a team.
That is right there to the left.
Dude, I did not walk straight up to this doll when it first came here.
All like
Right here?
these dolls.
Oh my god.
When I bought the
sieht am
building, it
friedlichsten aus.
was just the dentist chair
Das ist
upstairs.
die schlimmste
And
wahrscheinlich.
this place
Ja.
was standing erect.
That's all that
That's
was
all
in
I came
here.
with it. Yep.
Ich hab immer noch die Schwarzhaarige.
There's no way. We walked straight up to these dolls. It was like the first thing we did when we came in.
That thing blinks on
But
me.
allegedly, people have seen the arm move, eyes blink. The nursery used to have this before I did. So some of the workers were finishing up right when the buy was finishing and all that. And two of them come down the ramp with the doll. They said this verbatim. They go, "This is Maddie, and if you take care of her, she'll take care of you in this building." And then they were like, "Do you want us to get an address for or anything like that?" And I'm like,
Oh my
"No,
God.
it's fine. It's fine."
Holy cow.
And they left her standing, and then they walked out. You know, we talked about possessions of people and attachments, things like that. Well, items can have those attachments too, but I think they have to be special. If spirits know, hey, that doll's getting a lot of attention, well, I'm gonna latch onto that.
You're gonna be talking to this doll, aren't you?
Yeah.
Did you notice she's basically got something that mirrors your tattoo on her dress?
Oh, yeah, what? That's weird.
Creepy dress for a haunted doll.
Jesus.
Crazy. That shit's crazy. This is the occult sigil.
You also pointed this out.
Yeah, I immediately pointed this out. Anyway, is this like a sign? Is this just a shuffleboard for the old person's home?
So this is what summons the dead here. This is actually our vessel.
What demons are you trying to trap? Only people on cruise ships, actually.
Das ist nur lustig.
We're on the ground floor of Ohio Cottage, so this would be your basement. Right?
Oh, this is technically the basement, so this is...
The basement here at the seminary is supposed to have a mysterious
basement?
hole in it. No, don't take that.
Yo,
Don't.
dude,
No,
come on.
trust me.
I'm trying to be spooky.
They believe that there was a nurse murdered because she was in a dramatic affair with one of the doctors here. The doctor didn't want anyone to find out. He whacks her, then buried her in the middle of the floor and overlaid it with cement. So,
Semen or cement?
so we got the nurse under cement.
falsch
And it
verstanden.
wasn't until years later, investigating the mystery, the current owner, Adam, actually had dogs come in and sniff for a corpse.
Rebecca, she's a psychic. I've worked with her for 9 years. She got this vibe that there was a woman crying out there saying that, you know, she had been sexually assaulted and murdered, and to this extent. We brought in cadaver dogs. 3 different cadaver dogs landed in the same spot, right in that room. When we did the ground penetrating radar, there was an anomaly about 3 feet away from that. The anomaly was detected when it was dug up, nothing was there. But that was like an urban legend. When I came here, this used to be owned by the police, had it, the fire department. They had this urban legend
Guckst
for a
immer
long
noch
time.
seine
saying
Eier.
There was a woman buried in the floor.
Nein.
Also ich schon, ja.
Oh. Ich hab's schon vergessen gehabt.
Right in this area, 3 3 feet down is where that anomaly was. My stomach dropped when they said it's the size of a football. You know the mistreatment of women and stuff? We were thinking, what about an abortion? What about... My stomach dropped because right away that's how I went to, I'm like, they're going to open that up and that's what they're going to find.
Yeah.
But they proceeded and those guys were digging for a good 2 hours. But when they kept going, you just have this soil. We talked to the ground penetrating radar guys. They're like, in our 20 years of doing this, we've never had a phantom anomaly that big and not be there when we dig it up.
Wow. Do they have any speculation about what it might have been that caused it, or were they just like... That was the wind.
No, they were just confused and that was it. They apologized.
Sorry for looking at the floor. Lots of stairs these past few days.
Oh, dude, okay. So you guys saw that outside, right? When you drove by?
You know, the light flashing, right?
Yeah. I have no idea why that light is doing that right now.
It's just our luck. We want Sally.
Hey, she also used me for my power.
I think one thing you guys are going to notice tonight is each floor, the energy does feel a little different. Some places feel a little heavier than others. Time moves slower in this area.
Nate, get in the hole. Get in the hole, Nate.
There's video of this thing opening and slamming shut, like repeatedly on video with nobody saying it.
We were drawn to it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I interacted with in this hallway.
We're great.
Kamera Panel.
We're going with the taxi.
Yeah,
We're just
great.
carrying the spirits around with us right now and interacting with the things that they would want to be interacting with. Well, we were the ones that opened the door.
He's the Uber driver.
Okay, just because I'm the Uber driver doesn't mean I'm not a passenger.
That's true. That is true.
That was like elegantly.
That's very deep.
Where do you think, after being here for years, like the most active spot?
Sarah's room.
So as we walked in here, you guys saw that there was a bunch of dolls, but apparently there's another room in this building somewhere. It's called Sarah's room, and it's filled with dolls. Sarah is an entity that is a little girl that haunts this place, of course, just like the Beller house, like the Sally house, like the Fairfield.
We tried to get all of the ones with the little demon girls.
I don't believe in demons. If I saw it tomorrow, I would believe. But it is possible that we are dealing with a demonic kind of entity. The thing about this, though, I think if you were an asshole in life, you're an asshole in death, right?
Yes, yeah.
Human emotion doesn't change. It's like if Charles Manson died, you think he's gonna be a nice ghost, right? Oh, no. But he's gonna be misidentified as a demon because he's gonna try to hurt you. Right. And he already knows how to play the religion card. He knows if he says, Lucifer, you're gonna creep out thinking you're dealing with something.
Now, nobody really knows Sarah's origin. There's a rumor that she could have actually been a student when this was a school way back in the 1850s, and she just died here randomly. That's all apocryphal, so we don't really know.
What our friends Steve and Adam are saying is that they don't think this Sarah is actually a little girl at all, though. She might be the negative energy that's here, just manifesting themselves as
Something enticing that like pulls you in because it's gentle.
Just like the Sally house. It's just interesting how each of these places connect in weird ways.
So do you believe that there could be a possible puppeteer entity like that, a negative person that will just travel portal to portal through these like places that could like pose as multiple different like little girls, little boys, and things
Absolutely.
like that?
And I know you've encountered stuff like this. I talked about taxi cab, right? What if this is just they all know how to get to all these different locations?
And you're the conduit.
Yeah, you're the one that's bringing it.
What? Uber. Yes. I'd be charging a lot. Where's my paycheck?
You guys don't be deep, but I think when it really comes down to it, Sarah's room is the most fascinating.
Whoa. Oh, it's a Sarah's room. I see.
Oh, du Scheiße.
Whoa! Pee-pee.
Emily.
Oh!
Emily Davis.
Yeah. Bel Air.
From the Bel Air house.
You know, we talked about portals at Fairfield.
Yes.
That was discussed.
Yes.
What I didn't say, though, is a lot of people believe that closet door right there is the portal.
No way.
Oh, dude, just like Melissa.
Yes.
Which is where we did the Reverend say on.
Where you sat in the closet. Something to keep in mind, though.
Oh, das war eine
Felicia
krasse
was
Szene.
before.
Da wurde noch gesagt, ich bin hinter
There's
dir.
one thing that
Oh, ja.
Und dann ging das Licht
Baby
an.
Trump.
Weißt du noch?
Baby Trump.
Oh,
Oh
ja.
my god.
If there was any definitive proof of reincarnation.
Das sieht aus wie Thomas.
One of the things that we're talking about at Fairfield, the offerings.
Lass mir keine lange Haare wachsen.
Bitte nicht.
Aber nur seitlich, der hatte doch auch vorne nichts.
Weird anyone to expect.
If someone's trying to buy my respect for $1, that is probably more.
That's more disrespectful.
So in terms of haunted places in this building, it is said that the 4th floor attic is the most active area in the entire place. And yes, the thing that haunts the top floor is a 7-foot-tall shadow figure.
Same as Fairfield.
This shadow figure might just be the actual apparition or physical embodiment of a Sally, a Susie, a Sarah.
That puppeteer demonic figure.
Correct.
That also means that there's probably portals in this house if this is all connected somehow.
Again, we don't know if it's connected, but based on Bel Air and Fairfield, we know that there's possibility to travel through portals, especially though, and these are all described as kind of the same spirit.
7-foot-tall shadow man in all of these attics? It's all the same story.
It's the same story and maybe the same demon.
One of the creepier things about the attic was the fact that they used to house mentally unstable people there. These were people who had what's called catatonic schizophrenia, a condition that causes them to stay in one position frozen for hours on end. The nurses would see them go into catatonia, and they'd say, okay, they're going to be there. They would leave to go get help, and then they would come back and they would be moved already in their restraints strapped down, which they can't get themselves strapped into restraints. Yeah.
That is so scary. Imagine like seeing one of those people just like...
Yeah, even that in and of itself. He's really going for it. Oh.
Final destination.
Ooh.
The Asylum.
Whoa, this is way bigger than expected. I felt like an energy change, like almost immediately.
That looks like a creepy hospital hallway. In an attic. Oh wait, yeah, sure.
That's where it happened.
Wait, what? That was when you were sitting?
Well, it was down this room on the left here.
You were on our way over here telling us about a crazy paranormal experience that you've had in this building, correct?
Yeah, so Madison kind of sticks out to me just because it kind of changed the way I look at investigating and how I'm going to experience things and how vulnerable we can be in a location. I don't always buy into the possession and all that kind of stuff. I think a lot of it gets hyped up, but there is one night when we were investigating here that, I don't know if you want to call it blacking out, I don't remember a portion of the night. Instead, I was myself for about 45 minutes. My mom had been investigating for about 10 years at that point, and she cried that night.
What's your memory of the night like then?
It was myself and 2 other investigators. We'd gone up to the top floor of the asylum. I started to feel a little bit weird, and I kept moving towards the back corner of this one room. It got to the point that I was so far into this corner of the room, I was actually almost facing it with my back to everybody else. What? And again, like at this point, I was aware of what I was doing.
Were you standing still?
Yeah.
Catatonia.
Oh, yeah.
I told them, I was like, hey, I want to be in here alone. I want to investigate alone. And they both looked at me like, no way. Like, we're not leaving you alone in here. You're already acting super weird. And then the female investigator that was in there with us got really uncomfortable. She felt sick.
Getting sick is like a reoccurring theme of this building, correct?
Yeah. So she walked out, and the first thought that popped into my head, and I said it out loud, was 1 down, 1 to go. And it was just me and one other person in there. When I said that, the other guy in the room, I mean, it freaked him out. He was like, wait a minute. Like, what does that mean?
That freaked me out too, honestly.
What are you going to do here? And at that point, this is where I don't remember anything.
2 other investigators and I went up after we kind of got into that, so we met him on the stairs. We're like, something's weird with that room. One of the volunteers came up, he's like, listen, you can't be alone in here. Something just happened to Steve, like it's affecting him. We need to figure out what that is before you guys investigate. All got really combative, like we just started yelling at him, like, listen, we're not leaving, like this is a good investigation. So he's like, you guys are done, just like go downstairs, go outside, take a minute.
Oh, they like kicked you out
And
pretty much?
that's not how Dylan is. Like Dylan and the other 2 investigators that he was with that night are like the least confrontational.
Yeah.
Like they don't get like that.
Dude, I've never heard you like raise your voice at all, like ever.
It was so weird though, because I've never had something affect me that way, similar to Steve. I don't really believe in that, but I had my emotions change in that room. This place is probably the most like psychologically effective place I've ever been though. So wow.
Keep your guard up.
Heftig.
Mich würde es echt interessieren, wie alt dieser Typ ist.
Ja, gell? Der sieht sehr jung aus.
So, by the way.
That experience tonight.
What is that? Whoa.
I was hearing that
Down this hallway.
What
was that?
With some snowfall, like slip off.
Oh,
yeah.
Oha.
That sounds good.
Can you do that again?
What the fuck?
What was it though? What did you want to sound like? You have any idea?
I don't like shuffling or footsteps or something.
You had this next level experience, maybe being in the same spots and the same times at night. We could maybe get that type of evidence again. If you're up for it. Okay.
Save that for later.
Save it for later.
There is one last thing that I just over. There is a person here, and I'm keeping the promise. As long as I do not say his name, he said I can share this story.
Okay.
He did work here in the 80s, and he told me what he saw in this operating room.
80s was when this was a police center, right?
Yeah, the police and fire department were operating here. The county kind of had the township.
And the police were scared to be here.
Right. They would keep files up here. No one wanted to come up here to do anything. But what they saw was disturbing.
This is the second ominous thing Adam is to show us.
He's just like lobbing up these ominous stories of like. Another place that we want to investigate tonight is the surgeon's room. So many patients would have been suspected to die on the table here. The doctor, the surgeon there, is seen all around and haunting that area.
Do you know what you just did?
What I did?
You called him the wrong name. If you call the surgeon the doctor, he gets angry.
It's not like I already need another attachment.
You know what you can't call him?
What? How would he not get picked up that?
So I am speaking to this unnamed individual, and he says it was the summer of 1984. He was up here. He comes and he's right in the doorway. First time he's been up in this spot, looks in the doorway, and he says, Adam, the only thing I can tell you is it looked like a torture chamber. What he saw was like a bronze table. It was like dyed green from ionization and all that. It was sitting right here. It had arm bars going across, leather couplings that come around to strap the arms. Legs came up at a 45-degree angle, would strap you this way. There was a light, just like a dentist's office, that would be right here, he said. Ironic that we brought that in. He goes, oh, wait, there's one other thing. He's like, I don't think it was on the floor. I think it was on like some kind of metal slab or something like that. The only thing that was in this room was this marble slab right here that was around the corner. I'm like, why did someone drill holes on the top of it? And it looks like something was placed there, like it would have been set down in that spot. And then it opens up the theories, like if you're doing hydrotherapy and stuff, you're dumping water on people and things like that, or blood spilling, it's not gonna rot the floor out. It has something to go on underneath. But what's weird is after he saw this, he said about a week later he came back up and everything had been removed from the room.
Why would the fire department and the police station keep that up here though? You know, that's just weird.
Well, they inherited the building.
What was it right before this police station?
It was the asylum.
Right? So what would they need to be torturing someone for?
This surgeon probably thought these people were subhuman. They were his experiments. And in the 20s to 40s, we know across the country the kind of research. They probably thought they were helping, but
research, right?
And that's who we think might be the puppeteer. This one is that doctor that roams, and that's who everybody's afraid of up here because, like you said, what was he doing to people?
That's what all the evidence is leaning towards. Like, this is...
Oh my god. Well, in that case, let's get some equipment and start this investigation, guys. Sounds like we got a lot. Take it over.
Investigation time.
Between today's tour and what we learned last night, we got a couple different things we want to figure out. First, is Adam right? Was there already a haunted location here, and it is just a place for spirits to pass and go, depending on said attachments? 2, last night we learned at the Fairfield Infirmary, I definitely have a goddamn attachment.
Last night.
Yeah, okay.
Why would we gain anything from just being here? Why would she want to go home? We got a lot of ground to cover, so let's get started.
Alright, so the first place we're gonna investigate, I think, what?
There was somebody walking behind us.
No.
I turned around and looked at him, and he was standing there looking at me like this, and dude, he was walking directly behind. You could literally hear the feet on the floor.
Already?
Are you sure it wasn't like the echo?
100%.
Yo, unless something followed us in here.
When we were doing the tour, I kept looking behind us, and I swear to God, I thought like someone was following us.
First question, we want to know. There were dogs that said there is a dead body down here. Let's try to figure that out. Nate, you want to go in the fucking hole? I'm going in the fucking hole.
Going in the hole.
Huh.
That baby ain't dead.
Right when I turned on the camera.
Where you guys said you heard the
I was standing in that doorway.
If we heard you walking down the hallway, I want you to set that light off when I get to the number 3. 1, 2, 3. Set that off if we heard you coming towards us.
I'm glad you're really going for this.
Yeah, proud of you.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm stoked that you guys brought me out to fucking light in a hole.
That's what Nate's best for. Getting in your hole. I mean, getting in there.
Alter.
Wenn der ist einfach durchgefallen.
Ja.
Starts eating my leg.
I didn't realize it was
Boah, der muss die ganze Kacke machen. Das letzte Video war doch außen zugedeckt.
If there's something that recognizes this body being below the surface here in the basement, you make one of the devices go off?
Was there ever a body below the basement floor?
Alter, von jetzt auf gleich. Das passiert so selten.
Ohne Spaß.
Oder da verläuft noch irgendjemand gerade.
It's been a long time since it was like that.
Dude, it was like nothing. And then nothing. Exactly.
And there's nothing like electrical around here. Like,
we thought that was debunked, but maybe there was.
The dogs actually hit about 3 feet over that way, but the anomaly was over here.
right.
So this is an obelisk and has a dictionary of words, basically like a spirit box, but instead of all the radio static, it's just gonna spit out.
So random.
So we can communicate better. Okay, one
Aber
more
mit Sales
time.
Scream war das schon krass. Das letzte
Ja,
Video.
klar. Das war gut.
Talking about spring.
Adultery! That's literally why they said she was killed and buried up here. She was like a mistress. She was a mistress of higher up here.
oh my god.
And that's why she was killed.
And the doctor. Greg, adultery, nighttime, wed. Greg as in a guy, a doctor maybe. Adultery as in the crime, at nighttime when he was in wedlock.
Oh mein Gott, ich hab Gänsehaut.
It's like this. Dude, that's what too. What is going on? That
all lines up so perfectly. If they're obvious to do that, like that's great. For it to all make sense, one word right after another, you know what I mean? And line up completely.
not only makes sense, but that is the exact story that was here, like literally earlier in this video.
Yes, you can look it up.
Pray, disregard.
Like disregard prayer?
Oh, fuck. Student.
This was
Seminary class,
Seminary. This thing is going off.
Dude, yeah, back in 1847, this started as a private school.
There's a school here.
So maybe that happened during that time? Or... Yeah, do we know?
That's the story that's wrong. Maybe it wasn't a doctor.
The teacher was in wedlock, but he was with another student.
I also just want to point out this is the second night in a row we've made Nate be a dead body.
That's very true.
Oh yeah, I already noticed that, dude. If you like Nate being a dead body in our videos, please like and subscribe, and we'll continue making him do it.
So if there's someone or something in here, can you make our equipment go off again? Can you go touch this light? Did that just say something?
Shift through.
So like through the building or
Maybe. Preacher!
So it's a religious like school pretty much?
So the student was a preacher.
I don't know about that.
Or a preacher.
Yes.
Student. But this was a preacher school. Like people learning. Why would it say preacher and then say students, you know? Like it could have been any other type of school, a military school or something.
right.
Chill. Dude, that is what we're doing.
So are we the first ones to really get your story correct? Or the first ones to actually listen to you?
If so, can you make any of our devices go off?
Or is there more to your story you want to tell us? Maybe you were right, they want us to shift to another part of the building.
It says shift through, and that thing hasn't gone off since.
We got the story we needed from here, and now they want us to go to somewhere else.
Get your dogs bloody.
Maybe you have to
Oh
do that.
shit, dude, it's going off! Yo, get out of there! So that sucks, I gotta go. Yeah, it really was, dude. Alright.
Above! Person!
Person above.
Yo, or was it Sarah, the floor above here?
Is Sarah's room right above us?
I think so. Dude, that was almost too perfect.
Oh, that's
Sarah's room.
We are here in Sarah's room.
Alter, dieses Schaukelpferd.
I brought something.
Oh mein
Dude, you're not holding her
Gott.
hand. Oh, you are?
Das ist nicht Sarah.
Reminder,
Das
this is the
Yes.
most
Das ist
haunted
nicht
dog
gut.
in Ohio, apparently. Her name is Maddie. It probably doesn't have any connection
Warum
to
macht er so
family, but
zwei?
it's funny that they're both named Maddie, so I'm just gonna be holding her.
Mag Maddies anscheinend.
Ja, aber doch nicht in Sarah's room.
Dude, that doll is like 4
Die wird doch
feet tall.
eifersüchtig.
Oh my god.
Richtiges Triggerobjekt.
Ja.
Would you hold your child like that, dude?
Hieß vor allem.
You wanna come out and play?
Safe.
Blinks. Dude, okay.
Oh, dude.
Yo!
Oh my god! Ja, die so cool ist.
Sein Blick einfach.
Ich will einfach wirklich nicht gemacht und fertig.
Ja.
Oh, das sieht so gruselig aus. Oh mein Gott.
Die sieht einfach echt aus wie so ein echtes Kind gerade.
Oh Gott.
Yo, Maddie.
Bro, das ist voll.
Alter.
Maddie, are you able to spike this up further than
Wenn ich
yellow?
schlecht irgendwas
Also
bekriegt von ihr.
Also die einfach echt.
Wow.
Oh mein Gott.
Einfach komplett still.
Was there something in the hallway?
Yeah, two distinct noises.
Alright, we're just gonna use Maddie as just like a haunted object, but I think the main goal here is just to talk to Sarah and see if she's using that portal over there.
Okay, sounds good. We got a catwalk down here, lights up, music box into the closet in case there is actually a portal and people are coming in and out.
Whipson Castle, didn't that also have a portal in the closet?
Yes, in the picture.
Apparently there's a portal where spirits can come in and out right in that closet. And off camera, we've gotten this music box to go off a little bit.
Oh, you are right. And that went off crazy off camera.
So this is like a reoccurring thing.
Why are the portals
They're the darkest spots that everyone's afraid of.
I was gonna say also, why would everyone be afraid of it?
How's Maddie doing?
You know what, I miss my Maddie from the Shanley, but this is actually terrifying. I don't like holding this doll's hand.
Bro, maybe you shouldn't be bringing up Maddie from Shanley so often around this new Maddie. I mean, does that seem a little
This
bit...
Maddie's like 6 years old.
She's got a turn her head.
Oh my god, she'd be out the window, honestly.
You just eat Maddie. I think after that first session, it's pretty clear that whatever's here wants to talk to us tonight.
I was gonna say, I think we already solved our first case.
Yeah.
I believe that. Yeah. I really want to, if we're in Sarah's room, figure out the Sarah story. How she get here? Why is her name Sarah?
Hätte ihr
Is
das?
that actually?
Ich glaube, es ist
die
die
ist so
Kamera.
fiktiv.
Ja, so die,
You
ja.
know what all these quote-unquote little girls have had in common that we've been? They all like the flashing lights and they all like use like crayons, like the last time. They're just like little kid things.
AKA
Yeah, let's focus for a second.
Portal.
Ja, das ist doch dein Portal. Die Tür. Ja.
Oh.
This is what it did for you.
Nee.
Hey, jetzt ist da.
Turn that off and we can play a little game with you.
Like it walked past there. Yeah, walked over there. Flip it off.
Seine Bombe. Mir sagt, die Hand festhält.
Alright, if you're coming out of there, come over to this flashlight down and turn it on. Walk past that.
Das sind wir an beiden Orten.
Alter.
Das haben wir gehört.
Ja.
If you're not originally from this building,
Was steht da auf dem
you
Nick?
came here with somebody else. Set off the device in the hallway.
No way! That just confirms that.
That something came here.
With somebody else.
Whatever is like making everything happen.
And it came out of the portal first before it started talking.
When you said that, dude, Adam's right.
We got an EVP here a couple years ago. It said just passing through. We saw shadows come out of the hallway, so we pulled out the DR60, asked who it was, said just passing through. It went back in the room, nothing else happened after that.
So we got a pretty important question here. We're trying to clear some stuff up. Are you able to come and go as you please? If you are, set that device off again in the hallway, the red light out here. If you can come and go from this building whenever you want, set it off.
What was that?
There was a crack out there.
It was like a footstep.
It can't go as it pleases.
It needs somebody to bring it out. Do you need a person or a vessel for you to move from building to building?
Yo! Right as he said that!
Alter.
Fuck! Building flashlight on!
Shit. Brauchen wir so einen Schnapp.
To open the door in each building.
I hate to say this, but I don't think we are. I think it's you, Sam.
Something's attached to you.
If you came here with Sam from another location, set off that red light in the hallway.
Better yet, if you're here with me, why don't you come over here? Set off this flashlight next to me.
That confirmed it.
That's it.
So yesterday we figured out that you did have an attachment, and right now we just figured out that it is for sure following you to place to place.
And the power that it needs is just a taxi cab.
But why would it want to go to place to place? That doesn't make any sense.
For power.
What does that even mean?
I don't know.
Getting energy.
What is it
Ich
to
glaube,
solve
ich bin
all
einfach.
these different
Did you
places?
say last time the Estes method that you guys had last night was it needs to go home?
And what's the
So, a lot of good guys, there's footsteps in the hallway. Sure is.
That is so clear. If the power that it gets by attaching to somebody is being able to go from place to place, but the end goal is to go home, what does it gain?
Unless places like this,
Give it more power.
it's kind of like an all-encompassing thing. Like Adam was saying, like groups are bringing things here. Maybe they're energizing it more, so they're going to
More and more and more
and they found
things
these
build.
places that have building energy already.
It's building energy.
Are you using sales?
Ich liebe sie sehr
If you are,
störend.
turn on that flashlight.
Yo, that confirmed it, dude. What if it's just opening portals each time you go to a new place?
But it can't get there operationally without
Has
being
to go
brought.
there with somebody first.
And then boom, you're just linking all of these spots.
The question is, does it have a negative agenda?
Right. Yeah. What's its end goal?
I mean, how do we even ask something like this, that question?
And if they have the power to Steve black out to get everything, how do you know that you're not choosing these locations? How do you know you're not being influenced? I had my only experience with some sort of attachment or blacking out at this location. Have you ever heard of this place until you guys?
No.
Would you?
We didn't know Fairfield, we didn't know this place, but yet somehow both of them have almost an identical sphere as Saturdays.
Why did we bring the tambourine to the Pellegrino house?
Why? It was such a good coincidence.
What does this mean for the rest of the investigations or even like our home, like in LA? Does that mean it's following us there too?
The thing I don't understand is why.
What's its motive?
Nate,
Interessant.
talking about earlier, what is that word, the catatonic?
Könntest du nicht
Imagine the catatonic patient sitting in these creepy ass chairs just looking out the windows.
Because they weren't just sitting right there.
Literally, the condition will have them like doing things like.
Stand da hinten gerade ein
That's
Red?
scary, man.
That's freaky.
I figured we'd try this new method, then
Warum findest du irgendwas, wo blinkendes?
automatic writing.
This is like using a Ouija board, except it's not a Ouija
Klar,
board,
machen die
it's
das
on a
wieder.
blank piece of paper. We're gonna put a pencil on there. We're all gonna touch it with 2 fingers, just like normal, and then it's gonna draw. It can be literally just blobs. I'm not gonna lie.
We're gonna play some
Das letzte Mal warst du 3 oder so, gell?
This sort of automatic
Schuh.
writing
Die haben es so gut
outdates the
gemacht.
actual board part of the Ouija board. This is
Ach, die haben den Schuh reininterpretiert, genau.
on this thing? Can you turn that off?
Dude, it's ready. Like, it was talking to us so much in Sarah's room.
Ja, befreiendes.
Kann Alexa drauf?
It is completely subconscious.
Alexa, oder was war da los?
Oh.
Oh nein!
Alexa nix.
Abbrechen!
Right when you guys...
Oh, du sagst diesen Namen hier nicht.
Technische Störung. Wir machen kurz zurück.
was talking to us so much in Sarah's room.
Dude, it also just feels refresh everybody on how these sort of Ouija board things work. It is completely subconscious mind push sort of thing. Like if you feel as though you should be pushing that way, push that way.
Right when you guys put your hands on there, hey, can you turn that off?
Alle Hände waren drauf, der geht ab.
Whatever is here in the Madison Seminary, if you can get some sort of sign as to who you are, what you want, or where you can talk
Der
to us.
Finger drauf.
Just give us some sort of sign with this board. You can draw
Das ist falsch.
Sarah, this is you. Feel free to just draw it. Play like a little toy.
Maybe it's another entity of this house. 7-foot shadow man, maybe you're up here?
Guck, wie die zittern.
Flashlights on.
Ich glaube, das geht mit so vielen Leuten nicht.
Flashlights off.
Whoa, what was that?
Oh.
Who's behind me?
Whoa.
No.
Das ist laut.
If you're down there, come over here and talk to us.
Da links ein Football.
Is it even moving for you guys at all?
I think it's stuck to the paper. Here, let's.
Sit in like a divot? Alright, so they're gonna hold down the paper and just use one hand, because it's a little harder than that.
Again, if you want to show us anything, draw anything, give us any sort of hint as to who you are, please use this planchette.
Bro. This thing's at 44 now.
Oh, Chloe.
This thing's going.
Making a deep line.
Flashlight's on.
Yeah, this is weird.
Can you make a noise for us? Just like you were down the hall, can you slam out the door?
Der hat die Tür zugeklatscht.
This is like a door.
Turn that flashlight and come over here on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh ja.
Muss ein Stück laufen.
You guys done? This is where you started, right?
Hey, das ist
Sein Lümmel.
I can't figure out what that could be. I don't know.
Das ist eine gute Rose. Okay, das ist eine bessere Interpretation.
Ja, das ist eine Schere.
Okay, jetzt ist
Guys. Wait, let's go to the next picture. No. Look at the curve.
What the fuck?
Alright, wait, let's see here.
Alter.
I'll put the picture right here, guys.
It is not exactly, but it is so close.
Ah, okay. Also viel reininterpretiert. Ich dachte eher gerade einen Skalpell mit.
There's a curve right here, too.
Ich dachte an eine Schere.
None of us knew that was there except for Steve.
As soon as you said it was like a surgical thing, I was like, I know where there's something in here that looks just like that.
When I looked at that, I was like, oh god, this doesn't look cool.
Yeah, that looks like that.
What is that tool, bro? Don't you remember when we were reading the history? It said that they used to pull people's teeth when they bit.
Wait, the biters. I don't know if we talked about that on the history part. Could you explain that?
Because they had a bunch of unruly and mentally unstable people up here, they would also oftentimes be violent. And one of the ways they would retaliate when they were not wanting to be strapped down is they would like bite. And so when they couldn't like make them stop, they said, well, fuck it, we'll just pull their teeth.
And you know that could be using like any sort of pain, pain medication or anything.
Flashlight's on, too.
Guys, I don't know how this works. This is just honestly crazy.
This is just something that we're trying
It
out.
seems to work. Maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe all this is a coincidence. But that was pretty.
That's pretty crazy. And even that's the only thing in there.
I think that only means one thing.
I don't even know if we need to try it again.
We gotta go to certain. I feel like we got questions to ask in that room.
Yeah.
100% it's leading us
You
there.
want to come talk to us in the surgeon room? Turn that flashlight off.
Klare Antwort.
Alright guys, obviously whatever's here talking to us is trying to get us into the surgeon room as fast as possible. But if you guys are enjoying the video so far, you know what to do. Leave a like. If this gets 300,000 likes, we will do another haunted asylum. Because it seems like these places are very active. So leave a like if you want to see that. And while you're down there, drop a subscribe too, because it helps us out a lot. It's free. Let's go.
Und nicht vergessen.
What was that?
Was that the window?
Was that the window? No, I think it might be this thing.
Hello?
Flashlight.
And
That's not the window.
Bro, that's getting closer.
sounds like I'm stumbling around like that.
Is somebody coming?
In a psychosis or something.
Somebody coming in here?
Dude, that's getting closer. It's coming.
So this used to be maybe like a potential torture chamber?
Well, remember he said the people that were in here helping the people that were in the asylum just thought these patients were way below them.
They weren't people. They were things they could experiment on.
Experiment is the key word. Were you telling us to come into the surgeon room?
Oh shit. That's the end.
Also das
Is there any
Gefühl muss doch
reason
so
that you
komisch sein, wenn neben
had
dir
us
das
draw
Licht
out these
angeht.
pliers? Do they remind you of something? Did you have us come into this room because you wanted to torture us? Did you want one of us to be your patient?
You want one of us to sit on
Jake immer diese Fragen gestellt.
What is that? This is coming down this way.
Still. For some reason I thought it was outside.
Wait.
Bro, it sounded like it was so much closer than that.
I can't tell if it was the camera light. I looked in here and it was dark, but it looked like a dark shadow moved here, like this way.
What kind of room is this?
What's I mean? Like, why would you build something?
This is
They have like one of the little kid toys in here.
Right.
Alright, let's go back to the surgery room. Something obviously led us here.
In my opinion, it could be the surgeon, or it could be maybe like a mentally ill patient. I literally saw something fly out of the window.
I think it was the silent monkey.
Or I was just saying it could have been a patient here trying to show us what room something happened to him. Or we were just talking to the Sally puppeteer, whatever we want to call it, downstairs. What if that's just the entity trying to manipulate us? Are you the surgeon?
Hello! Hello. Definitely.
Why did you want us in here?
You're alive?
Ich glaube, eine andere Stimme.
That's the taxi cab.
Does that mean we're still talking to the same entity? This thing just went off as soon as I said that.
Do you recognize any of us? Where do you want to go? What?
I need a plate. Like, what? This thing just spiked too. Yeah, look.
It's spiking and flashlight again. It's like it's confirming the ones that it actually wants us to listen to.
What if we had Sam sit on the chair as a trigger, and then we did this method over Sam?
Yeah.
Trigger object?
Yeah.
Estes Methode, während das sich raussetzt.
Ja. Er hat die Kopfhörer an.
Hi, Sam?
Als ob.
Yeah.
That's a little girl.
Did you get that? We just started.
Hi, you want to talk to me?
I said, shut
That
up.
was so clear.
A church is kind of like on earth, a doorway for the divine.
Just thought, this is a symbol of the surgeon, correct? Right.
Yes.
The surgeon worked on the patients, correct?
Yes.
The surgeon thought of the patient as nothing, as he's above. He's working and doing experiments on someone who's nothing.
Right.
Why would this thing put me on a patient table and lead us into the surgery?
The surgeon also took pieces of the patients.
Is this person comparing me to a patient? It thinks I'm not.
It's the surgeon. It's above you.
It's someone who's working on me.
Right. Well, you know what makes the surgeon the surgeon? Having the patient work on.
It's nothing without you. I just thought of something. Isn't this like the most like evil room?
Yes.
And it wanted you specifically to sit in the most evil spot of the most evil room.
Yeah.
And it's looking to try to get power, and it's following us through every single place we've been to for the past couple months.
Yeah.
Did you get that? It's taking you to all the darkest places of like, each spot. Yes.
Of each location, yes. And that's where it makes protest.
Ja.
The darkest spots in each location is where you can get the most power.
What's it doing?
Das hat mich beim Pentagramm angefangen.
It's making you weaker.
What do you want to know?
That's a
Blood.
weird noise.
Wait. I just thought of something too. Why would it attach itself to someone who is already going to the most haunted places?
Because you're the perfect Uber to these
I would be the
places.
perfect Uber. It wouldn't attach itself to some random person.
It wants to go to where there's more
weil es
energy
selbst
that's negative and evil to like feed its evil soul.
I think it's like trying to make a network.
Are you sure?
So eine Geisterhure
We haven't
nehmen.
really determined what Sally is. A lot of people say she's evil. We haven't seen anything harmful thus far. So right now we have no idea what she wants because again, could be good.
You sat in that pentagram that day and you challenged something. And it hasn't left you since.
I genuinely didn't think it was real. I was just like challenging it, and it was a stupid mistake.
are we 100% sure that this is like the most powerful spot?
All I know is that you guys literally just drew up that, so that's what it was.
I've been coming here for years. Like, you've been in this room a ton of times. That room is the one you blacked out. Like, we've had our emotions manipulated in that room.
And the closest you've ever gotten to actual.
And that's what we're hearing, the noises too. Weren't you saying off camera too that like you're feeling kind of like anxious up here?
All, like, since we got here, I feel like this has been kind of like following us around.
Dude, let's go to the spot where the real shit happened.
Yeah, I don't want to be sitting here like a fucking prey or like, you know. What?
Now these things are going off?
Hasn't gone off the entire time.
You're right, man. He wants us to go. This thing has not gone off at all, and as soon as we talk about leaving this room.
Alter.
What's going on? Wait, what? That has not gone off like that at all.
Dude, I think it's jackpot.
Eskaliert voll.
Over there.
Finally,
So you were in
richtiger
this
Tor.
room, you were doing an EVP, and then you just started facing this corner.
Yeah, it was like everything changed and like I turned off everything. It's like I had a camera, I turned it off, I turned off all the equipment that I had, and I was just like not. It was so weird, like everything just didn't make sense. Is that, you know what I mean? Like I just didn't want to do anything.
Okay, so after talking about it a little bit, I decided I need to switch spots to what Steve was doing a long time ago. I'll be here alone, maybe even like you said, end up facing the wall. You guys can maybe ask some questions in the distance.
Like you were saying off camera, remember at Fairfield, our last investigation, if you guys saw this episode, it literally said divided. So we were just like game planning off camera, and we're just like, if it's after you, like put you in the same position.
Hopefully I just don't turn heads.
We'll find out.
Jeez, dude, this is some weird fire to play with.
Alright guys, so we're gonna do the spirit box really quick one more time. Make sure the antenna is pointed up just so we get the best reception. Sam's over in this corner.
Was hat er angestellt?
As a trigger object.
Are you using Sam for power?
Das ist unsere Lampe aus.
Leute.
Ach
cool, ja. Wahrscheinlich.
Ist ja gut, ja?
Ich denke ja.
Okay. Alles gut.
Yeah, 100%. What did that say? Yeah. What are you trying to accomplish?
Can you tell us your name?
Are you using... What is... Oh my god! Oh my god!
Alter.
Are you using... What is...
Was war der?
Are you using... What is... Oh my god!
Er hat die Schritte gehört, ne?
Ja.
Mach nochmal zurück.
Glaubst du, man hat da was gesehen?
Nein, sehe nicht, aber...
Nee, da stand ja auch nur Liste.
Yeah, 100%. What did that say? Yeah. What are you trying to accomplish?
Can you tell us your name?
Are you using...
Das waren wirklich so näher kommende Schritte
Ja,
einfach.
ja.
Are you using...
Alter Schwede. Wow.
Are you using... What is... Oh my god! Oh my god! Wait, whoa, Sam. There was actual footsteps down here. Actual footsteps. Those were so... Holy fuck. Did you see all of them doing that? Are you serious? Dude, there's like legit footsteps.
You can literally feel like wow.
Hier.
I don't know if I want to be up here anymore, to be honest.
Is that enough to say something's fucking here?
Alter.
Dem geht's gerade gar nicht gut.
Nee.
Ich will dahin.
I love how Adam put this place in perspective. It is not just haunted for some specific
seine
reason.
Männer wieder.
However, things come and go as people come and go. AKA, one could
Niemals will ich so eine Puppe tragen.
attachment theory. People get attachments, dolls get attachments. Things can travel through other objects. It wants to feel alive. Why would it want to go into a doll? It would want to have attention. Why would it want to go to this place? Because people come to this place to talk. The puppeteer has more control than we think.
I guess the question is, can you break free of the puppeteer?
I think that is the next next question. Also, if you guys found out anything more or we missed something, please let us know in the comments or tweet us or something like that, because there was a lot to go on in this video, a lot of theory, a lot of like really existential stuff. Maybe we're thinking too hard with this, maybe it's just a doll in a creepy place. But yeah guys, 300,000 likes, we'll go to another Asylum. Make sure to go check out these guys. If you want to go to Investigation, you guys can investigate here. There's all the time. You guys can be doing exactly what we're doing right now. If you guys want to see some behind the scenes of these types of videos, go to exploreclub.com. Make sure to check us out next week.
Oh yeah.
Another video.
Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you're enjoying seeing this one so far. I'm really tired.
Yeah, I think it is time to go to bed, guys. Adios.
Okay.
Ich will das sehen.
Ja.
Was hast du denn gesehen?
Da soll angeblich irgendwo, habe ich gesehen, dass noch irgendwas am Ende kommen soll. What's the last scene oder so stand da. Vielleicht waren aber auch die Footsteps gemeint.
Die Footsteps waren ja im Prinzip Last
Oh.
Scene. Ist das schon das Stanley? Wie war das?
Stanley.
Stanley gab's glaube ich auch.
So. Was?
Nee.
Nein, wir sind wieder im Gefängnis.
Okay. Schauschak.
Okay.
Ich weiß. Ja.
War
Also
gut.
ich fand, beim letzten Teil hätten die noch weitermachen können.
Ja,
die hätten die Estes-Methode machen können.
Die haben aber wegen Zeit
Ja.
aufgehört.
Ja. Die Estes-Methode ist halt immer das Spannendste. Und wenn die nicht dabei ist, ist es immer so.
Ja, das ist dann immer so voll enttäuscht.
Ich weiß nicht, ob es.
Aber das mit den Footsteps war heftig.
Ja, das war schon. Also, das war krass.
Das war richtig krass.
Aber irgendwie hat mich das jetzt nicht so umgehauen wie die letzten Videos.
Ja. Definitiv.
Ja. Es war trotzdem gut.
Es war natürlich
Aber es war irgendwie, kam mir auch irgendwie anders vor. Aber die erste Methode hat mir einfach nur gefehlt. Doch, die macht das alles noch ein bisschen
Aber der Besitzer kam mir am Ende dann doch irgendwie ein bisschen komisch vor. Ich weiß nicht. Diese Theorie von diesem anderen YouTuber, die hat mich jetzt...
Von diesem Mustafa?
Ja, das hat mich
jetzt... Ich weiß
jetzt...
nicht. Ich mag ihn trotzdem, er ist cool. Er macht ein Geisterhotel für Geister.
Ja, okay.
Jetzt sind wir wieder am Ende angekommen von unserem Video. Ich weiß. Jetzt müssen wir wieder warten bis nächste Woche.
Ja.
Das nächste zu sehen. Jetzt haben wir noch 2, glaube ich, gell?
Noch 2. Dann ist
Gefängnis,
Season 1 fertig.
Gefängnis und Stanley Hotel.
Ja.
Und dann war es mit Season 1. Dann, in diesem Sinne, würde ich sagen, bis nächste Woche.
Ja. Liken, teilen, kommentieren.
Auf jeden Fall. Danke übrigens für die ganzen netten Kommentare, die wir
die haben uns mega gefreut.
Super nice von euch.
Wir lesen alle und versuchen drauf zu antworten.
Auch für das nette Feedback.
Ja.
Vielen Dank.
Danke für die ganze Liebe.
Oh.
Okay, das war's.
Mach's gut.
Ciao.
Ciao.